On the phone, visiting with the head coach of the Lyman Eagles, Dale Anderson, whose team comes in at 10-1 and will be on the road in the Class 2A championship game at Torrington. And first, Coach, I'll talk a little bit about, I know I chatted with you earlier this season and you felt like you had a good football team, but it sounds like you're even a touch surprised that you're 10-1, and I know a goal had to be reaching the championship game, and here you are. What are your thoughts about what you've seen out of your squad in their progression and improvement throughout this season?
Well, I think that's been the key. There's just been that gradual improvement, and we were a little uncertain early, exactly what we had and where we were at. But it's been a great group of kids that we challenge each week to just try to find a couple of things to get better on, individually and collectively. And I think they've risen to that challenge. And so, and even for us as coaches, it's important that we do that. Lead them by example that way and get better ourselves. So it's just kind of been that gradual progression. It's been really, really fun to watch.
You guys have been strong on the defensive side all season long. What has gone so well that you've pretty much led 2A in total defense, giving up less than 170 yards a game this season?
Our front four is pretty solid. They're a good group of kids. They play hard, and but it's a team concept. It requires all 11 guys out there doing their job and being disciplined. And, our defensive coach has done a great job of putting a game plan together each week to, kind of play to our strengths. And, and so it's just kind of been that kind of set where, each week it's somebody different that steps up and makes big plays for us. And, so it takes that whole team to do it. And I think that's what we've had.
You have a couple good guys that have run the football very effectively for you with Preston Brewer and Carter Smith, and I know Carter also is your quarterback and throws the ball and has a few weapons out there, including McCoy Smith. So what have you seen on the offensive side of the football this season?
It's just kind of been the same kind of thing, just kind of a little bit of a progression. Not quite sure. Early in the season we were, trying some stuff, and, it takes 3 or 4 games sometimes to figure out what clicks and what works. And, luckily, this year we do have the ability to throw a little. Some years past we've been almost exclusively run. So it is nice to be able to, throw the ball around a little bit and have some weapons out there, kids that can catch and run.
Now you get Torrington on their field. What kind of a task is that, traveling basically across the state to play a championship game, Coach?
It's kind of what it is. I think kids in this state get used to that kind of stuff. It's, other states, it's maybe not as, it's a little more difficult, but here, we go up to Lovell or Grable or wherever, different years for conference games. And so I think the kids just kind of know that that's part of playing in Wyoming. And so, we'll just kind of take it as it is, and, we'll have a plan for travel and, and all that stuff. And, it is, it's hard to go to go play a good team like Torrington on their home field, but we're hoping we'll be up for the challenge.
Well, you guys have not seen Torrington this season. I think some of the other championship games teams have seen each other, but yours is unique in that facet. So what are your impressions of Torrington?
They're a really good football team. They're physical. They've got good size up front. They've got guys that can run, guys that can catch. I know they lost their quarterback the other night, but which is a bad deal. I feel bad for that kid at this point, but I know they've got athletes that they can plug in there, and so they'll be tough. They're a very, very good team.
Without giving away any part of the game plan, what are some of the big keys for you guys to be successful Saturday, Coach?
All our key always is what happens with the offensive and defensive line. That's always the most important thing. Every game we played this year, that's our focal point, is being able to, try to win that aspect of the game. And, Torrington provides us a big challenge there. So, but I think our kids will, hopefully rise to the occasion.
Coach Anderson, I greatly appreciate your time. Best of luck Saturday at Torrington.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate your time.
Visiting with the head coach of the Torrington Trailblazers, Russell Steinmetz, and you guys are going to get a chance to host this championship game on Saturday afternoon. First of all, let's kind of start there, Coach, with the fact that you get to be on your home field. What type of a benefit do you think that is for you and your team?
I think it's a huge benefit. We've been home for the last 2 weeks, which has been nice. And they also, Lyman has to travel basically clear across the state to get here. So I think that's huge. And then just also to have our fans and our supporters here behind us.
Obviously, a big blow when you lose your quarterback in the semifinal game. What type of adjustments does that present to you this week in preparation for the game?
Yeah, there's quite a few adjustments. Kind of just adapt and overcome, and hope the best for his surgery tomorrow, and just move on with what we have next, and hopefully everything ends up going well for us.
Well, talk a little bit about the progression, the improvement that you've seen out of your squad throughout this season. You guys come into this matchup sitting at 8-2 overall. What have you seen out of your squad that maybe has allowed you to reach this point?
I think a couple of the key, contributing factors to the success that we've had is with our offensive line play, and then those kids, for the most part, turn around and play our defensive line for us also. So just those guys in the trenches, they don't get their names in the stat books or anything like that, but they are very valuable to us in this program.
I don't want to necessarily single, any individual out, but without kind of Bo spearheading things offensively, do you look at other guys to try and, maybe not necessarily go out and create plays on their own, but, how do they, I guess, step into different roles?
Yeah, I think, we're going to have to adjust and overcome, and, our big playmakers are going to for sure have to step up and take some of the heat off of the quarterback that comes in and plays for us. So, and it all comes down to that saying, players got to make plays. So we're counting on all of our players to make plays to make up for the loss of Bo Bivens.
Let's talk about Lyman. What do you see when you see Coach Anderson's squad?
Just one, a very well-coached and disciplined team. They're not putting the ball on the ground. They're not throwing interceptions. They're not getting penalties, anything like that. Just very well-coached. These kids play hard from whistle to whistle. And I think, they kind of rely heavily on their interior linemen on the offense, and also those kids, for the most part, turn around and play defense for them and the interior there. So kind of similar to what we do. But, yeah, just well-coached, hard-nosed. They're going to come right at you. Nothing too flashy, but, they're going to come and hit you right in the nose.
They've had the top defense in 2A throughout this season, Russell. What do you think makes their defense so good and so tough to go against with your offense?
They are tough. They kind of have a prevent in the secondary and just try to keep everything in front of them in the secondary and let those big guys up front and their two really good DNs just rally to the ball and make big plays. So we're going to have to be very disciplined for us also on offense and march that ball down the field as they're going to make you march the ball.
Don't want you to give away your game plan or anything, but what are some other keys for you guys to have success Saturday at home?
I think one of the keys is they're going to run the ball a lot. They're going to come right at you. So, we got to slow up their running attack. That's pretty much where we're hanging our hat on defensively, and then offensively, just try and get some first downs and keep moving the ball.
Certainly appreciate your time, and best of luck against Lyman on Saturday.
All right. Thank you, guys.